I'm not a huge fan of format. Glad that wasn't recorded all fully. It's so much more intimate in person, right? Where you get to ask questions, answer questions. You're like talking to, as opposed to having to turn around a fair bit. So,
I want to introduce who you are.
yeah. So, oh my gosh, I'm Guy. I think I've met most of you. I don't know if we've met.
I've been in like your online sessions.
Okay,
before.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
My name's Elsie.
Elsie, okay, and then you're working with 705. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm. Pardon? Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, you wrote in, that's right. So I've been with the brokerage. I started on a theme, the Hockey Homes. And my gosh, 2014, Jen and I were licensed pretty much within a month of each other. Which is why we like to have lunch once in a while, because we've kind of went through the trenches together at the same time, wet behind the ears, and yeah, I still look up to all the amazing things that Jen has done
Anyways,
and the systems in her
Let's-
business. Yeah, let's.
let's go.
But yeah, so I went on my own 2021, and it's been fun. It's been different for sure. Sometimes more lonely, which is why having good colleagues to just ask questions of and complain to is good, right? So and this is Jen.
To mastermind.
To
That's what we
mastermind
do.
with, yeah, that's called masterminding, right?
Yeah, so, and I'm Jen, I don't know your name, I'm sorry.
Umar.
Umar?
Yes.
Okay, great, nice, you're fairly new, aren't you here? Well, welcome.
To the brokerage, yeah,
To the
yeah,
brokerage.
yeah.
I'm Jen, I came here, like you said, in 2014, we started around the same time. I started as an independent agent and then grew to a team. Through the last couple of years, that team has shrunk a little bit, but I still have another agent on my team. Farming has been a big part of how I grew my business over the last 10 years. So I'm happy to talk about it and share what worked for me and what didn't work, and answer any questions, give you ideas. I've taught this class before. I've also taken a class with MAPS, which is the old coaching department of Keller Williams called Farming Developments. And it was really helpful. So hopefully today we can be interactive. You guys ask questions as we go. I don't want you guys to wait, just we're here to talk. So
Yeah.
but let's dive in. What is
Okay.
farming? Do you guys know what farming is? What?
You're taking a neighborhood and you're basically prospecting that particular neighborhood, so people there know who you are, learn to like you, and basically just develop your database from a particular neighborhood.
A great example.
Yeah, one of the ways you can farm. So you grew up on a farming community?
I come from a dairy farming family.
There you go, yeah.
So I literally know how to farm.
That's right. My parents live on a farm, and we built that house when I was 14, but the idea of farming, if you really dial it down, you have soil, seeds, right? There's all these things that go into actually being able to harvest. Okay, so you have to prepare the soil, right? And the soil is, you got to figure out where you're going to farm, and we'll talk about that as well. But if you think about it actually like farming, there's all these steps that have to happen before you have something you can actually harvest. And for us, that's a sold sign, or a completed transaction. So what is farming? So market segment. So you talked about a geographic farm, right? So that's a specific area. You could be a demographic farm. You could farm specifically seniors, or maybe you want to focus on the lawn bowling. It could be something like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why seniors made me think of lawn bowling. But it helps you narrow down your market, and you can niche. Let's move that out of the way. I'm going to minimize that, because if anyone hops online, just let us know, because I've minimized that screen. There you go. It's simple.
Yeah, so when you're looking at your farm, like Guy said, you can do geographic farms, or you can do like a specialized farm. One of the things that I did prior to COVID was there was a mom of preschoolers group that I had belonged to before I entered real estate, and they became one of my farms once I entered into real estate. That group doesn't meet anymore in the same fashion, so that ended, but a deal that I just did this weekend, my townhouse on Brucker.
Okay.
5 years later, that was from that farm of mothers of preschoolers. So that
There you
was
go.
a worthwhile
Yeah.
farm at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in a networking group as well called BNI, and we meet once a week. So that's more of a business farm, if you will. It's a business community that I've been cultivating. That particular one since 2018, but something similar since I was licensed. And so, you know, you could be farming within a particular community. So for me, that's a small business community, right? So where are they? Right, they're in that group. We have a system, we meet regularly, but it's continuously keeping in touch with that particular segment. And then I will say the other farm is, and I want to make sure I don't miss this, is where do you do life? Like, we live in the East End, our kids walk a block to school, most of the kids and their friends walk to school. And so if I were to door knock in that neighborhood, and when I do, it takes forever, because I have so many conversations with people that have a mutual like connection back to school. And it's always, I know, we play sports, extracurricular stuff, all that kind of stuff that we like to do, is whether it's hiking or mountain biking, whatever it is. Often it's with those people as well, so we're always farming and keeping those relationships. Cultivating, right, it's that
Yeah.
farming technology, or terminology.
there's something in the chat there.
Yeah.
I used the mouse and I took us like 6 screens ahead, so.
Oh, were you able to back?
Yeah, I did. Oh, it's just,
Okay, thank you. There we go.
all right, so, mark the following sheet, okay. Hello,
Oh, it's because I clicked.
there. Let's talk about the myths of farming. Okay. Farming takes too long and costs too much. I'd say that's not true.
No,
When I started door knocking, I literally went to Staples, used their printer. I would get 10 little slivers per page, cut them there at Staples, and then go door knocking with that. Like when I had no money yet. So it doesn't have to cost you anything. If you have business cards, that's all you need. You can just
Yeah.
leave a business card at every door. But so it doesn't have to cost you anything, but then you can get into really costly farming. As I grew my farm area, I invested, I'm going to show you guys how I did it. But I then started sending postcards to that farm area on top of my door knocking. But those are things that you can do as you start to get closings and you put some of that money aside to grow your business. Those are opportunities, or maybe the team covers it for you. But door knocking does not have to cost you anything. Calling does not have to cost you anything.
no, and let's say most likely you have business cards, but even if you had nothing, except yourself, and you have a conversation, like, that's what you're hoping for, is a conversation. What you printed, or door knockers, postcards, whatever it is you have with you at some point, that's to leave behind. And how many of those people call you?
You do get
Sometimes.
some, yeah, it's the more
If you're
they see
consistent,
it.
yeah, if you're consistent with it, they'll call you, because now you're branding yourself. But the best results I've had is from the conversations with the people at the door, and you ask about their plans with real estate, you ask about, you know, whatever it might be, and they share some sort of interest or some sort of plan sometime, hopefully not too far in the future, and then now you get them in your database, and then you can follow up with them, and that's really the benefit, is at some point they need to get in your database.
What is a typical conversation like? Let's say, for instance, for your neighborhood, you're with the kids.
Yeah,
So let's say, for instance, if you just started real estate and you want your neighbors or people to know, okay, I'm doing real estate now, right?
yeah,
So what is the typical conversation? I mean, like, let's say you've known that person for 5 years.
right,
Now you want to let them know you do real estate.
yeah.
How do you go about that?
Depends how close you are with them, right?
So let's
Because,
start with close.
yeah, close.
Let's start with that.
Yeah, don't use a sales conversation with a buddy or a friend or someone you've done life with a fair bit. Be blunt. Hey, Mark, I'm really excited. I just got into real estate. So don't worry, I don't want you, because I like you as a neighbor. But if you ever hear of anyone moving, do you have a realtor you would like 100% recommend, or would you be open to like learning about how I do business? Something along those
Yeah.
lines, yeah, so conversationally, I don't think, like, we can talk more about that too, but that, and it's, let's say it's a cold, you're just door knocking now to meet new people in the neighborhood. It's the same kind of thing. I wouldn't use the word new, like your friends know you're new.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't use, you are now a professional realtor. Right? And you've been a realtor for a while.
Yeah.
But if you are brand new, like you are a professional realtor, just like anyone else. So don't use that word. I'm introducing myself to the neighborhood as a local realtor. You might not have seen my signs yet, because I'm maybe just starting to work this area more or something along those lines. Or if you've just moved to the area, hey, we just moved to the area, we're really excited to start introducing ourselves as a local realtor. Again. Something
Yeah.
along those lines.
When I first started, what I would do is I would ask somebody in the office who had a listing in the neighborhood I was farming, if I could go door knock with that. And so often I did, like I would just take the listing, go door knock and like, hey, we just listed this property, who do you want as your neighbor? We're having an open house, they don't need to know it's not your listing, but it's from our brokerage, so you're representing it, just make sure you check with the person who's listing it is.
Yeah.
But that's the easiest way to kind of make yourself feel confident, because then you have something you can talk about. With farming, the goal of farming is you wanna be consistently there, right? It's not a door knock here one day and then go door knock somewhere else another day. And so the conversations can be quite quick at the door, because you're gonna come back. For me, the goal is to get everybody's name, even if I'm gonna see them in 6 weeks when I'm back at the door. So I would come to your door, if I've never met you before, I might say that, I might say, oh, we've actually never had the pleasure of meeting. I come around every 6 weeks with some information about the neighborhood. What's your name? You tell me, I'd be like, great, I'm Jen, I'm from Keller Williams. We're just today out letting people know we listed 123 Main Street. And you can kind of get a feel like if they're never gonna move, they might tell you that and be like, I'm never leaving, what are we up in here? You're telling me to carry out my thoughts, and I actually, because I need someone who's telling me what's happening in the neighborhood. Here's my contact information, what's your number, what's your email address? I'd love to stay in touch, because I need someone who's here every day.
Yeah.
You just kind of,
And
I wanna
someone
gather
knows
the
anything,
information.
yeah, someone who can let me know who's coming, who's going, what's happening, any events that are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next myth. Myth 2, someone else already dominates the area. We talked about this briefly yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
So the truth is, no one is ever as dominant as you think in a neighborhood.
So the two examples we were talking about, who would you say dominates? We'll just say this area. Period.
Oh, geez.
Name 2 agents that can.
Two
Very
areas.
sensitive.
Yeah, right? That's where everybody's head goes.
Those are two brokerages. So let's take a neighborhood, let's just take East End of Barrie where I'm at. And yeah, I see, a bunch of Peggy signs and some Ferris signs. But every one of those listings has a different listing agent, right? So it's not like Christy McGee is the realtor in the East End. It's like one of 15 different realtors who has every one of those different listings. If I door knock that area and I get old people at the door, chances are they're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I forget his name, because he doesn't even, he's with Remax, Bob Elliott.
I don't know what it is.
Right, no, of course, because he doesn't do much online, but he's lived and worked in the East End for 40, 50 years. And so if they're old, and they've been there for 30, 40, 50 years, that's the name they kind of know and think about, right? But at the same time, so yes, he has a pretty good market share, but he doesn't sell most of the listings because he's kind of taken his foot off the gas from doing a lot of the things that got him like known. So
Do you guys know how to kind of figure out who has market share of the neighborhood you wanna?
Yeah, that would be.
No.
I don't know. Yeah. What to-
So, what I did when I was challenged with this concept of finding out who dominated that area. So my farm area is part of ARDA. Interestingly enough, so Joel Ferris, friends of our family, Joel and Deanna, he lived in my farm area when they still lived in Barrie, they don't anymore. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna see on the Ferris listings that Joel is the agent for all of those. Nope, so I went through for the year, took that area on Matrix, blocked it out, went through all the solds. Okay, there was 7 Ferris solds. I think there was 5 Peggy's when I did it. And then I went through those and looked at how many of those are the same agent. I expected I would see Joel's name on at least 2 or 3 of them, but he was only one of them. Because it is, like Guy said, it's a different agent from that brokerage. So there's no person that had a hold on that market. In fact, when it came down to it, I had more than any other single agent. I only had 3, but I'll take the 3 over somebody else only having 1. So just go take that area that you want to do for the sold for the year and just go through it and see who represented the listing,
So
who.
it's a manual.
It is manual, it's a little tedious,
No,
but
that's fine,
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, is there some,
there's no,
Button I
like,
missing?
no, if there is, let me know.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But it is manual, and I would suggest doing that once a year, when you do your business plan, if farming a neighborhood is going to be part of your plan. Sit down and just look at the last year who did it, and then you can start using that information when you're at the door. So Thornton is another neighborhood that we farm, and in 2024. That we're in 2025 now, in 2024, there were 8 solds and I represented 3 of them.
Like,
Well, that was important numbers to share, right?
yeah,
And plus 1 just outside of Thornton, so I included that in my number. I represent 50%, you know? But you can start talking like that because, and everybody thinks of Peggy and Mark. But like Guy said, that's a brokerage now, and there are just individual agents who are gonna be representing the people there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no one's ever as dominant as you think, and even if 1 agent owns 25% of that market share, 75% of that market share is still available. Might be a little more challenging, and so you might have to be a little more persistent, but there's always going to be opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. Farm limits you to that area or specialty, and the truth is, farm does not have to be your only source of business,
It
right?
wouldn't
So,
be.
it shouldn't be. You know, maybe online leads or, you know, referrals, or in my case, like my business networking group, and, you know, they have referrals that come all over the place, which is great. Yeah, it shouldn't be your only source of business. You're going to say you decide farming is the way you want to work, then yeah, that's where your core is. All of the things you're doing within your farm and the relationships you're building, they might have someone who's buying there or selling and then moving out of town, out of the area. So of course you'll have business out of the area, but they'll also be your referral sources, right? So they'll recommend, hey, like what they do here and the way they market houses and the way they represent us and care about it. Like you gotta talk to Guy. Hey Guy, can you sell, can you work down in Minnesota? Oh my gosh, yeah, sure. Like, if I don't have to drive 3 hours, let's do it. If I don't have to drive 2 hours, let's do it. If I don't have to drive an hour, 100%. If I have to drive an hour, I gotta think about it a lot. But yeah, so definitely not. And the same thing. Area or specialty, right? So it doesn't have to be that area, the specialty. So if you say wanna farm the idea of investment real estate, right? Well, you don't only deal with investors, right? Investors buy the same kind of houses people like us buy, right? So, it's all about mailers and mass marketing. Well, no, right? We
Yeah.
talked about, the synergistic impact of both marketing and prospecting, right? They have to go hand in hand. And you look at prospecting based, marketing enhanced type of advertising. So yeah, starting out, you're probably gonna be more prospecting heavy. And then at a certain point, you start getting a little bit more of the income, or you invest in mailers and other things, but it doesn't have to be just that. It shouldn't be just that. Because that's where it will be costly and that's where it will take a lot of time. Because they're not seeing your face, they're not hearing your personality. If it's just marketing, that takes a lot of money and time for someone to finally call you. But the prospecting is going out and shaking hands, which can be supplemented and helped with the consistency factor with the mailers. So
And I would say there's been a couple events in the last 5 years that have made us appreciate that you can't have just one. So I'm a door knocker. COVID stopped that. There was no going and knocking on doors for the first six weeks of COVID. Nobody was gonna answer their door. And then a mail strike we've had how many mail strikes in the last 5 years? Like,
Rotating.
we can't send mailers in the mail if the postal people aren't delivering. So the opportunity to have more than one way, that's why I collect their information. Like at every door, I want their information. And so, you know, when you can't do mailers and you can't knock on the door, you can send emails, you can have your Facebook group, you can be contacting them in other ways so that you're staying in touch.
Yeah.
And so you want to have the opportunity to pivot and switch when things happen.
Yeah. You can stop and start your farming efforts. Yeah, you can.
You can, but it's still
You
be
must,
consequence.
must pursue your farm consistently and persistency. Yeah, you can stop if you want the results of that, slow down. And so when you talk about business planning,
Mhm.
determining where your farm is, where or what niche you want to farm, and being patient with how long it may take and the efforts that you need to put in. You have to be consistent. I would say a minimum 3 months before you start seeing any results at all. But that might be a, hey, yeah, we're interested, and yes, we're having two-way conversation, and they're asking you real estate questions. Like that might take a while before you get that two-way conversation. And then it might be a while still before something really happens, depending on how big it is, how wide that net is, and how much you're actually prospecting within it. Yeah. Select farm. Okay, this is the fun part for Jen. She's got the mail stuff.
Okay, niche within a niche. Oh, niche categories. Yeah.
So like, let's say you're talking a general geographic area and you want to focus on luxury in that area, or you want to focus on first time buyers in that area. So let's say it's Ardagh,
Mhm.
that general area. And there's some areas where most of the homes are 1.5 or more, right? And there are also townhouses. So you've got, like, if you pick a niche, and you really want to focus on it, you could do, okay, this is that area. Which area is the catchment for this school,
Mhm.
right? So you can niche within a particular niche as well.
When you select your farm area, I'm gonna pull up my map. If you're gonna do a geographical one.
Just click OK.
So when I picked my geographical area, I did not want to be in my own neighborhood because these are people that see me, see my kids running amok, know what my husband does for a living. Like I just, you know, I'm like, I don't want to, like, yes, of course I'd want to represent my neighbors if they were going to sell their house, but I really just didn't want it that close to home. So I picked a neighborhood where I had a number of contacts already, like in my social sphere. And so there was the opportunity to have easy conversations and an area that I felt like, okay, this will have good turnover. There was newer homes in it. Like you said, you've got townhouses and bigger homes. Unless you're focusing just on luxury, you really do want to mix because a townhouse turns over no matter what the market is like, right? Like that's always going to sell. So I chose the Ardagh neighborhood, but what I wanted to do was kind of future-proof my business. So even though I was going to start by door knocking, I knew that I wanted to send mailers eventually when I had made income from that door knocking. So Canada Post is honestly, I think it's the least expensive way to do it. People might argue on that, but you can get some pretty awesome deals from them. So I use Canada Post and they have what's called Snap Ad Mail. Well, the beautiful thing about this is you will see their postal drop that you're paying for. And so there's just no point door knocking the streets that aren't in your postal drop if your future includes mailing them something. Because then you're not going to hit them with your mailers. So I'm just gonna, I think I can do a quick demo without logging into my account. Yeah, so it's Canada Post Snap Ad Mail is all you have to Google. Okay. So, you can check it out for free. I do have an account, but let's put in, I'm gonna use my old Holly postal code because I remember that one. Okay, so you put in the postal code of like, pick an address in your farm area that you know you want to do, and can I do this? Okay, so I picked Holly. Columbia Road is my old address right there. And this pink area is the postal drop. So see how these streets are pink? So if I wanted to do postcards through Canada Post to this postal drop, those are the streets it's gonna go to. And, oh, it doesn't show it. Hold on if I can get it to move that bubble down. Come on. It tells me how many homes I have. Which is important to know, because when you consider turnover rate, which you're also gonna need for your business planning, you wanna know how many homes are in the area you're farming. So, with Arda, we actually picked more than one postal drop. The only thing is Canada Post is not committed to that forever. So, they do sometimes change routes a little bit, but if you were to do postcards through them, like this, if I was just doing postcards to here, it would be $500 for the month. So when you start making an income, that's not a bad spend. You can easily spend that on Google Ads. They actually have the opportunity where they can pair your postcard with a Google ad for that same area. So it's kind of a one-stop shop if you want quick and easy. 500 is the minimum, so this area would do all 786. But if you wanted to make sure that you could catch these other streets, because why wouldn't you door knock on the other areas? You could just select more than one area.
Can I check something?
A quick question.
Yeah.
Is there another alternative for Canada Post? Because I mean, with what's going on, I don't know if there are features.
Yes, there are other options. Do you remember who Ashley used?
No.
Me? No.
You have kids?
Maybe.
Oh, I was like, I got a 12-year-old who likes money now, right? So I'm like, dude. Is Canada Post gonna charge me 10 cents? So I go through it differently, like I create my own, I have them printed locally, and then I bring them to Canada Post and print them through. Through
How much does
Trev.
it cost you
through Trev's 10 cents
to mail it?
to mail it. 10 cents a
Is it
piece.
addressed?
Unaddressed ad mail.
Unaddressed.
Unaddressed ad mail through Canada Post, but through Trev. Because Trev has negotiated us discounts. I think it's 10 cents per, at least it was, I haven't done it in a little while.
This is printed, like
This
this
is-
is you design it.
Right, which is
And
why
then
it's
they-
$1 per
Yeah.
piece.
They're
Dollar-
printing it for you as
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
don't have to do anything other than on your computer and then they take care of it.
well.
Yeah, so $1,
Okay.
right, so whereas. With. Send it to the printer, get it, bring it to Canada Post in the bundles that they need. You know, with all the sheets, so there's a little less
Less work,
legwork,
yeah.
sure.
So have you worked at the price difference by the time you're done printing it yourself?
Mine costs, I think, 50 cents to print.
Okay,
And 10 cents to mail.
So 60 is the hard cost
okay.
plus time.
Hmm.
Right, where this, yeah, so it
It's not-
just depends
Yeah,
on
no,
what
it's-
you.
it's- One-stop shop is kind of nice too.
Mhm.
Sorry, what I was checking was, if I, because this is also pink, is that this,
That actually,
is it the
That's a
same,
different-
is it a different pink? And it, I was making sure it didn't
So when you
also
see
hide.
how it changes to light blue when you hover it, that's saying, okay, this is the area.
Yeah, and that's why I went up here, is like, is that also changing the one below, but it's not.
Yeah, so then that's that area.
Yeah, so, there you go, okay?
And so, what I did my first year, actually, this is just the sample, but I did, in Command, you know how we have designs? They had a whole, did you know, 12 months, so it was just, did you know, with our information on the back. So it wasn't like, hey, I wanna sell your house, or hey, that house just sold, cause that's every realtor, right? You know, my mailbox out in Angus, we get like 5 different realtors in a month, and it's all, this house just sold. Well, there's something different about somebody telling you how you can winterize your house, right?
Hmm.
So that's,
You can tie that in with your social also.
yeah, and Google Ads reflected this. And then you go into the door, and so if you're talking to somebody, you can be just like, hey, did you get my, did you know postcard last month about how to winterize this month? Like just,
Yeah.
it was just a campaign that was a little bit less salesy,
Yeah.
but of value, you're bringing that value.
Yeah. And then, like, she has her socials on as well, right, so they can add it.
Yeah.
Add homes for you.
You know that.
So that's, this is how you can kind of figure out how many houses are in your farm area and what streets to door knock, like. If you were door knocking this area, yeah, maybe you could do these two, you know, these odd little ones just to finish the route, it's so weird, like this is Columbia here, I don't know why they didn't include that little L, but. But at least, you know, if you're targeting all this in one,
Yeah.
and you do,
Take this,
and put it
right here, put that over there, come on.
it's so random.
So with that area, let's say you have 400 or 500 people.
Yeah.
What is the percentage of what you're looking at?
In terms of turnover,
Yes.
Well, what is the percentage of people that move every year? Is it like 10% or something? I can't remember what the numbers are.
is it that high? I don't even know.
1 out of,
The more important number though is your Mets and unmets.
yeah.
So have you guys done your business plan to know how many Mets and unmets you need and to do your goal?
Business planning is November 14th.
Okay, so go to that.
Weeds.
Yeah, go to that. But one of the important things, and that number is gonna change as you go through business. So when we started, if I needed 1,000 people to accomplish my goal, and I had 200 in my database of people I knew and was already in relationship with, and I had to figure out how I was gonna meet 800 more people. And the thing about unmet, so people in your farm area or whatever, it's gonna take, for every 150 people you stay in contact with, you'll get one deal. Where your Mets, for every 50 people that you stay in contact with, you'll get one deal. So it takes a little bit more effort, but that's part of growing your business.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
those are the more important numbers, like I think just knowing how many people you need to meet to accomplish your goal.
Back here.
Yeah. You already talked about how niche categories can overlap.
Yeah, yeah. Um. Yeah, and I was thinking like, wanna go, hey, wanna go?
Yeah.
When I grew up, that was like, you wanna fight, but now it's kind of like, hey, you wanna go skiing?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, my farm area, hey, like, and there's gotta be a dozen families in that general area. That we stay in kind of regular communication with that ski, or their kids ski, right? So, hey, you wanna go? You guys wanna go ski Friday, whatever, so we're always in communication with, so you could. And there was, REM magazine, real estate magazine.
Yeah, right.
I remember they had a feature on somebody who just absolutely loved hunting.
Hmm.
And that was where his business came from. From people he hunted with, or he's really, he was, all this stuff was just talked about hunting and going up, like way up north fishing, whatever. And so people got him, like he'd show up way less dressed, not less dressed. Dressed down, way more dressed down than this, all right, jeans and whatever camo stuff, and
Jump
they,
in.
they could talk shop, and yeah, talk shop, and he was doing pretty well in that niche.
Like people who do the real estate photos with like their dog.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
it happens to.
The dog.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's a London, Ontario, agent, her and her, wife, I guess. So there's a niche there, and their dog was Milo, part of their branding. Seriously, it was like, there's kind of two niches within there, and they really did, focus on them both.
Yeah, or like I said, my MOPS is the short term for the group. So I attended MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers, when I had little ones. And then I was invited back to be a guest speaker year after year. So I took that as an opportunity to farm that area, to be in contact with those moms. And so what I always did was sponsor their Christmas event, partnered with, they're not here anymore. What was the Holly's Cakes? They made these beautiful little individual cakes. Anyways, so yeah, Holly's Sweets Needs.
Yeah.
For me, that it was about 80 moms of preschoolers, and because I could relate to them, and I had been a member of their group when my kids were little, it was just kind of this natural segue of being able to make that my farm area. I always did a draw when I sponsored their Christmas event, so I got all their contact information.
Yeah, there you go. 10 factors to consider. So Jen was talking about business planning and your goals, right? If you
Yeah.
want to sell how many houses. So your goals, your budget, talk about that, lead with revenue, right? So if there's nothing yet, and you don't want to borrow, then just go prospect, right? Start with just knocking on doors. It costs nothing, but maybe a new pair of shoes once in a while.
But write them off.
Yeah.
My winter jacket and my boots were expenses.
There you go.
Yeah.
The size of like how big the area is going to be, and then the location. Haven't Mets versus Mets. Jen talked about that a minute ago. Average sales price, so again, it goes back to your goals, if the goal is an income goal, okay, average sale price, average commission, average. Total commission, okay, well, how many, that may determine how big the area needs to be to
Yeah.
satisfy that goal.
Or what area?
Or what area, yeah,
Right.
yeah, so. That's right, yeah, you might choose a different area that has a higher sales price. Or in a market like this where the higher sale prices are not moving as quick, and you're thinking, I wanna just sell more townhouses. Pick an area where they're moving, that they're actually turning over. I heard something a few weeks ago, 2 nickels make a dime. Right, so, right, so 2 small houses make like
yeah.
$1 sale. Market conditions. And that, just what I talked about, right, you might, market conditions may determine what the turnover rate is.
Yeah.
What is actually selling at the moment. And then, yeah, competition, we talked about that, and then you were fit for the farm.
Yeah, what makes you relatable to that farm? Like for you, you live in the East End, your family has that East End lifestyle, so you fit that farm area.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Where like mothers of preschoolers, I was there,
Yeah,
you couldn't go in and influence the moms.
but I look at the early deal.
Dogs.
What's that?
Dogs, dads of preschoolers.
While you were talking, I was. Dads of athletes was what I was thinking, right, cause. My son's in sports, my daughter dance, like, they're just. But it'd be great to just connect with dads, and I.
DOAs.
But yeah, DOA, like.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
That acronym, yeah, it's kind of like, we all arrive, like, just so exhausted, from taking our kids everywhere. There's really honestly, I don't say, right, like, don't necessarily be so serious, but build those relationships. So going back to early years especially. The sphere is where most people's. Like business comes from, you talk to, whether it's a sphere that you cultivated and kept in touch with, or it's a sphere you already had. That tends to be where a lot of our business comes from, where our referrals come from, so.
And there can be crossover, like I feel like. The longer you're in a farm area, it can get a little bit gray, like who was somebody that wasn't unmet, or who's somebody that I've actually become friends with, right? Like it can start to feel a little bit muddy. So, do you guys have questions?
Yeah,
Are we gonna-
doing a lot of the talking. Okay.
And Justine, right?
No, yeah. Well, this is just really exciting, we were talking about this morning. And Sarah Carney, so there's gonna be lots of. Digest and figure out right now, just like we just started talking about a different neighborhood where I used to live. That might be a good opportunity for me to farm.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious to know, I'll be looking up later how many homes there are in that area.
Okay, yeah.
Just to figure that part out, it's like, there's a lot under one postal code, so I could just drop everything there and then. Not necessarily have to, but there's a lot of people that know and see me, but not necessarily.
Connecting with the state,
Yeah,
yeah, but they know you as who you are, your
Yeah.
ability.
I see me running neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, they running for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
and stuff, so, yeah, should be interesting.
Sorry, this is just going into details, from the previous slide. So I think we talked about that, very good.
Yeah, start small, like don't think you're gonna take on 2,000 houses.
Yeah,
Because you do wanna go back consistently. At the peak of my door knocking, I was at somebody's door every 6 weeks. And you think they're gonna get tired of you, but they don't if you're bringing something of value, and if they're not home. And you're leaving something every time, you become a familiar face. I remember one day I was door knocking, I had a listing and I door knocked the street, and I know I had never talked to this lady because I keep track of all my information. And she answered the door, she's like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while." I'm like, okay, she's like, "I saw your signs all over." I'm like, okay, like really, there wasn't a bunch of signs out at the time, but she was so used to, and so I brought some of the stuff. That we would door knock with at the time, and you guys are free to take a look at it, because you're like, what do I say? So this one was from spring 2018 in Arda, and we just gave them where the local egg hunts were gonna be. So I never went back to the door with the same thing twice, but like who does, like, especially because it's a very family oriented area, this just was information for them to be like, okay, and when it's something of value like this, where do you think they put it? On their fridge with the magnet I left. Always leave a magnet.
Okay, so then think about the psychology of what you're leaving behind. Would you lead with the magnet, then start with all the other stuff
I leave,
I leave a magnet every time.
every time?
Yeah. The funniest time, that was when you find your magnets on a listing you didn't get.
yeah, on the side of the fridge, you're showing a house.
Had the listing, and it was just a lease, but I had gone in, and as I was leaving, and then here's the front door, my magnets at the top of the front door, and I was like, what? At least
At least it was a lease.
Yeah, but we, so yeah, I'll leave these, you guys can kind of flip through them, this was one where we had listings in the neighborhoods, so we just left that behind. Literally, if you want to leave a great big magnet, this was a great big magnet that we left on their door, but that also went to our.
What's the cost of the magnet?
That magnet wasn't very expensive, this was one that we did as a mail out to our sphere. I maybe spent $500 on 2,000.
Like Vistaprint.
Vistaprint, so we had sent this as one of our pop by items, but we did it in the mail because I was tired of driving that spring, but we also use this for door knocking.
What's the content on that?
This is kitchen conversion, so 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon. Tablespoons equal, like, what? Yes.
Stuff that your Alexa can help you with.
Right. Follow the poultry temperature guide though, because I think it's.
Okay.
Is it- Does it say 165?
No,
What does it say?
120.
Oh,
For how many hours?
No.
I don't want to
60 and then take it.
I know.
Nope.
I have a son that's a chef and he's like, Mom.
165, I think is.
Yeah,
the-
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
it into the sauna with you, leave it there for the.
Yeah.
Microwave it.
Maybe.
That's kind of like perfect bacterial growth temperature.
Yeah.
So that monthly thing, if you read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, REA, Gary Keller will talk about exactly what Jen just mentioned, you know, I haven't seen you in a while, or, right, they just feel like they know you. And they did a mailer and it was for 8 weeks. It was actually every week to a neighborhood of about a fake realtor. They just made up a fake realtor, right? And then they polled the neighborhood who's the top agent. It sounds like you all recognize that. And it was the fake agent they had made up, right? That's the top person in there because of that consistent recognition. They were just regularly there. Oh, that must be them, right? So that's exactly what this does. Oh, going back to size, start small, and it's easier to get to know everyone. So the cost is a big one.
Mhm.
You're about $1 per mailer,
Mhm.
and it's 2,000 houses, $2,000
Yeah.
per month in the month. Or if it's 250 houses, $250, no big deal, really.
Yeah.
Right? And then maybe you can do that smaller area once a week or once every 2 weeks and door knock in between. So it's a lot easier, grow to adjacent, yeah, so then just expand it.
The easier to meet everyone, so I carry a book with me, and for my farm area, every street has a sheet. So as I would go out and door knock, collect their names, then I would have that sheet updated for the next time I went out. So if I was door knocking a door and Allison had answered 6 months ago, and I've come back a few times, she wasn't there, but she answers again, I'd be like, hey, Allison, excuse me. I know. You know, like she might not remember my name, or she might start to piece it together. If you have their name, you become so familiar. Also write down the dog's name, because if somebody has a dog, they love that dog almost more than their children. And if you can address the dog, you will win instant.
Hairy dog treats.
Yeah.
Question, we were talking about determining the size of your area. I noticed on the Canada Post. Ad mailer that you showed, it was a minimum of 500. When you use Trev, is there a minimum on that? If you wanted to zone in on, okay, I'm gonna do, 250 houses.
No minimum, however. So you remember that area was like 700 and some odd,
Right,
so. You can't determine which of those 768 houses Canada Post will drop it, because it's unaddressed. So the mail carrier will get them from the gray box
sure.
and when they're out, wherever they start.
Okay.
So that's the only caveat there is unless you're doing a full mail drop,
Yeah.
there's no guarantee which ones they'll hit
And is there,
if you don't go.
with Canada Post as well, has there been any changes? There was a recent rule change, I think, with advertising mailers. Is that something that's gonna affect?
It might be something with like what they're fighting about is whether they have to
Yeah,
deliver them or not. I don't know.
I think they were on, part of their rotating strike was that they were not delivering flyers for a
Right.
minute.
right, okay.
So yes.
I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
that's permanent or not.
I don't think so, because I just got the pizza flyer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Arby's in the subway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but I think that's right, Mike, I think they had, refused to,
Due to problems.
which is a lot of their, the income from the post is coming from those.
Yeah.
Right, so I
That's probably why I'm saying no.
think that was their leverage, was that they were stopping.
If that happened, I would quickly switch to addressed mail, and you can do that for 55 cents, and I'll show you after how to do that. I've used addressed mail, you have to do a minimum of 100, but that's another reason why you wanna collect names when you're out doing your farm area, because then you have their information.
It's addressed to them.
Yeah,
That's right.
right? And no, like hardly anybody sends addressed mail anymore. So people who do check their mail, if they get an envelope and it's like their name right on it, they wanna know what's in it.
Resident, dear resident.
Yeah, no, you want names.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Stated somewhere.
Yeah.
It's built.
All right, so we talked about the location. As far as accessibility, like that might be, hey, do I have to drive like a long time? Is this gonna be a pain in the butt to get to? So I'm just making sure when I'm missing there. Yeah, it's in your neighborhood and that's where you wanna start or not, like pick one that you don't have to drive an hour to.
You're more likely to go if it's close by.
Yeah.
Like when I started, I lived in Holly and I door knocked in Arda because it lit like, I couldn't
That's
really
easy.
be like, oh, it's gonna take me half an hour to get there. I could go fill half an hour of my day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, great point too. I've only got half an hour, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on the way to such and such.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With, and adding to that, I would say you're more likely to do it if it's part of your planning for the week. So I would write down, okay, if I'm door knocking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I know Tuesday I'm doing these 2 streets, Wednesday I'm doing these 2 streets, and Thursday I'll do this one. And then I would have, so I pull the stats for the last 30 days for that neighborhood, what houses listed, what houses sold. I have that information with me so I can talk about it at the door. And then I have that ready to go, or it's a really easy to be like, nah, I don't wanna go today. It's -20 and I don't, you
Yeah,
know, like you just gotta be ready.
yeah, that's right. If you read the book,
Calling, like if you're not, we're talking like, cause we're
Yeah,
door knockers,
yeah.
if you're a caller, I would say build that into whether it's, Friday afternoon, that's how you finish up by planning for the next week, or if it's your Sunday afternoon planning for the week, like if you have a deliberate plan, you're more likely to do it. So whether it's calling and knowing what streets you're calling, door knocking, knowing what streets you're.
yeah, I was gonna say Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Talks about like going to the gym on the way home, because once you're home and you're in your like comfies, you're not going back to the gym, right? So door knock on your way to the office, or door knock, like get it done early, or if it's cold calling,
Yeah.
part of the plan.
Another thing about my farm area, I realized in my first year was that I couldn't go as early as I wanted to, because my kids started school at 8:30. But the public school in my farm area started school at 9:30. No mother of 3 kids wants you ringing her doorbell at 9 AM as she's trying to bundle them up and get up the door. So you just have to kind of figure that out about your neighborhood. What do you know about it? And then work with that.
Yeah. Number of haven't met.
We talked, yeah.
Talked about that. Average sales price, again, we already talked about that. Turnover rate, national average is 4%, target farm at least 10%.
I find,
Right, so-
I find
yeah.
turnover rates really hard to. Like,
Yeah.
the turnover rate now is different than it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna change a farm area just because the market conditions have
Yeah.
changed.
As well, fluctuates too.
Yeah.
Sounds.
Yeah.
And desires and wants and all that sort of stuff as well.
They
Yeah.
do say in a brand new subdivision, like once it's got occupancy, start door knocking it then, because people tend to move like a year or two after they've been there, especially if it was a build that they paid for 2.5 years ago. So that's an opportunity where you can be the first person in and you're gonna be getting familiar with the people.
Barb Best kind of did that. There was a brand new subdivision. She was like, okay. And then
She
that's
owned
where
it.
she owns it still, like
Yeah.
years later. Yeah. You know what, on the turnover rate, I think if you're just starting out. You want one that does turn over more currently. Or if you look at a recent, 5-10 year average, maybe 10 years better.
That's where townhouses are great.
Yeah, it's just,
Honestly.
if it's a. If
You
it's
get a
more
lot more
dense,
in less steps too.
Yeah.
Like where if you door knock Thornton,
or the east
you're
end,
it's gonna take you 20 houses. Where, if you do
in an hour, you mean?
Brucker, you're gonna get 120 houses in half an hour.
Yeah, so newer subdivisions, smaller lots, houses closer together, you can get more done at the same time. Selecting your farm.
4 to 5 years, yeah. That's kind of 8 to 10 in 4 to 5 years.
Most people stay that long.
Yeah.
Like I have been itching. Do you know what the itch cycle is? Itch cycle.
Yeah.
So how soon you want that new car, new house or whatever. I think we moved in 2016, so all we're here. But I've been itching like ever since we kind of got the tenants mess cleaned up, everything painted. I'm like, okay, what's next? Anyway,
But the average is 12 years.
yeah, 12 years. It's crazy.
I think I've only lived in one place for 12 years.
I've never lived
in Charlotte.
in any home longer than this one, ever. Yeah. Days on market, expired listings.
You can't call an expired listing in Canada, but you can door knock as long as you door knock around it.
Yeah, door knock around it, cold call around it. Mailer around it, like it's not, the mail drop's not going to say, oh, this one just expired, like they have no idea, they're gonna deliver there as well. So. In this market, not a bad idea to keep an eye on expireds. Are we being recorded? And just make sure
There's nothing that says you can't keep an eye on it.
No.
You just can't target them, right?
Yeah,
And so that's where if you have a farm area and you know who's expired, you likely saw the sign when you were door knocking, or even if you're a caller, like if you're a caller, make sure you're driving around your farm area. Make it a habit, just, every couple of weeks, drive through, see if there's new signs, see if somebody's doing renovations, or they have a good indication of a move is a bin, like a dumpster bin in their driveway,
Yard
right?
sales.
They're starting, yeah. So know the inventory if you're not door knocking it.
yeah,
But you can still contact an expired listing without targeting them.
yeah. One of my, a speaker that I heard, he, can't remember, Compound Effect, Dan Hardy. He's not in Canada, but he would go along with a sold sign and knock on the expired's door and say, when they answer the door, here, you're gonna need this. Anyway. Competition, so we talked about mind share, and market share. Well, we didn't talk about mind share so much, but most people have Peggy and Mark in their mind, right? But the actual market share is what we talk about. So how do you get that? You have to increase your mind share, and that's with consistent mailers, consistent conversations at the door. Can I relate and fit with them? So that was the relatability is. We talked about the hunter,
Mhm.
right? The sports, you could be. I was thinking about it while we're talking more. Like I could farm, in the soccer dome, for instance, because I spend too much time there. And you could advertise there and I coach and all those different things that happen there, right? That could happen more regularly as well. But yeah, what's your fit with, for instance, I'm just an average Joe kind of guy. I have a hard time in affluent neighborhoods, or when I meet people who are I just feel like I can't relate with them. And that's a mindset thing personally, but I shouldn't say hate. I like to dress up once in a while, but I'm not gonna dress up too often, and I don't know, I'm different life than a lot of people in these affluent areas and when I talk to them, and I have grown up those areas. It's a weird conversation, but people who live in townhouses, like, man, we should shoot the shit forever. So, that was recorded too. Great.
It's okay. I'd also say, once you know the realtors that live in your farm area, mark that down, don't knock their doors.
No, no, you don't want them to start.
But don't be afraid to knock their neighbor's door, because most neighbors aren't going to list with their neighbor.
That's right. My next door neighbor did not list with
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I mean, he owns his own brokerage, but whatever.
Oh, I was like 3 neighbors directly around me and none of them used me. I was like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's normal.
people don't wanna.
Well, there's, yeah, and then, so, always. I look back, what could I have been doing, what was I doing? Did I actually cultivate, not just a neighbor relationship, but also a professional, hey. I know what I'm doing, I'm good at what I do, and have you cultivated that kind of conversation? And I look back and same thing, driving down the neighborhood, you gotta be kidding me. You see someone else's sign, you think like, we're not that. 6 months ago, and did not talk to him since. Okay, that's fine.
It can also be a blessing though, because when you know your neighbor's house has had a few leaks in the basement,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to be the one.
that's right.
I'm dealing with that right now. I'm so
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You did mention, let's say Peggy and Paris.
Yeah.
Like they're the top of the minds of people, right? So my question is like, how are they like the top of the minds of people? Like, how do we?
How did, okay.
yeah.
That's a good question.
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they have a much bigger marketing budget than,
But they didn't always,
no, they didn't always.
so,
Both Mark and Peggy were door knockers.
yeah, door knockers, Peggy would do 4 to 6 open houses every weekend. She mortgaged her house to have advertising dollars to make sure she took up as much real estate in the newspaper as she could. Now they stopped, so that was like, it was so important for her to be that person. And because she did that many open houses, her signs were out everywhere, right? But they weren't even her listings starting out. She did other people's open houses. So,
Yeah, find somebody like me who doesn't like to do open houses and, yeah.
Hey.
Likes that open
Thanks,
house.
Jen.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, lots of agents, especially with busy kids or families, or just like, I don't want to do this on the weekend. There's a lot of listings available right now. More than the listing agents can actually do their open houses, right? So there's open houses available for. Look around, go through my office listings and see who has one available. I have one in Burgess, if anyone wants to drive a couple hours.
Yes.
But we weren't driving 2 hours.
We're
Yeah,
not.
Let's, okay. I forgot those.
Factors, demographic and psychographic farms. So we talked a lot about some of this. And this will go. There, so these are the niches.
Seems a little American.
We have,
It is a little American.
who's on there? The barbecue,
Rodrigo?
That's Rodrigo. He does the
right? He.
Portuguese, Brazilian,
Brazilian.
because that's where he's from.
He's, yeah, and he has a great niche within his community,
Yeah.
right? And, you know, he can speak, so that's a very specific kind of niche.
I know another team in Barrie that very much targets the Ukrainian, because that is something that is personal to them, and so they were able to do some marketing and help that demographic that's been moving here
Right.
for opportunities. If you want to target investment buyers, you need to be an investor yourself to speak their language, to be able to,
Yeah.
yeah. Condos, I don't live in a condo. It's not something I'm familiar with. I'd rather not sell a condo. So those things start to kind of build
Yeah.
out who you're gonna relate to.
Yeah, like, well, Ashley Lamb, for instance, used to be in brokerage. When she was in Toronto, worked for a condo heavy team. She moved up here, that's a condo corner.
You
That's
spoke
her.
the language.
She's on boards, she speaks to condo boards and associations, like, she knows condos and she loves condos, and she doesn't wanna sell a detached house.
Yeah.
Which is, it is what it is, right? And then this one here. So agent referrals are a high cost of business, like, here's 25% of my. Right, however, they could potentially be consistent referral generating, so there's there are realtors all over the world, but you can look at where the business to Barrie comes from. Typically, it's the GTA, but it could be London or Kitchener or New Brunswick if it's military. So cultivating agent relationships around at least the province, I would say, it's not a bad idea, right? And so you continuously be in touch with them and you are the one they think of when they've got a client. And they go, okay.
I can give a great example on that. So I grew up in Woodstock. I don't know if you guys know where that is, between London and Kitchener. And my grade 1 teacher's grandson is the same age as me. And when he found out I was in real estate up here in Barrie, he started sending me quarterly updates on Woodstock. So who's gonna sell my family's homes? Not me. I'm not driving to Woodstock. No thanks. Ben will though, because he keeps in touch with me with relevant information. It's not information he sends to his database. It's what he sends to other realtors, so he can build that side of his database. And if that's something you're interested in, that also becomes a number in your business plan. If I was to show you my GPS, my goals for the year and how I break it down, there is a component of that. So many deals will come from referrals. That's my plan. So there are certain agents that I keep in communication with, like Ben, so that when they have someone in my area, they think of me first.
Yeah. Right.
Just other
Yeah,
opportunities.
other ones. Single buyers, right? Where you can do like speed dating events and I don't know.
Well, if you understand divorce and court ordered listings, that is a great.
It is.
That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and so, yeah, you would also likely network and be in touch with, and just like Ben is in touch with Jen about Woodstock homes, you would be in touch with family lawyers, right, to that same extent, and you would be top of mind because when they're going through, they need to give a recommendation, and sometimes they can't agree on who to use, and so the lawyers put in a few recommendations. And you could be one of them. Boomer or Gen Xer. So
Yeah, seniors have they need a special touch.
Yeah.
And there are designations you can get.
senior person, I think is what it's called. You know, the sandwich generation you're talking about. Now you're getting into, okay, well, I'm not able to care for the house or the yard as much. They're potentially dealing with parents' houses and also trying to help kids get in. It's actually a great demographic, 60 and up, because what's the average age of first time buyer? I heard it's 40, 35, 40, it's climbing. So their kids are trying to get in the market, so you've got them who can help, and their parents' houses. You know, they maybe are trying to get mom and dad into an apartment, a condo, home, and they might not be selling right yet, because they might be getting carried out of the pine box. But they have 2 segments that they do need help with. It's fine, yeah.
The thing is, if you build, I'm gonna give you an example here. I have 2 clients that I was named in their will as the person to sell their house because I had a relationship with them. One I did not know about. The one I knew about, he's still alive. So he has told me when it comes time to sell. No, seriously, he said, I've gone down to Scotia, told me which branch, you are the one to sell the house. Maybe a little emotional. He's a sweet guy. The other one, he passed, he was a previous client. I got a call from his son who I've never met. And he said, Jen, my dad had it in his will. I'm like, okay. So.
There you go. I have a listing right now, Drury. Has just moved into an apartment, but she's a lady from church, right, which is another, I guess, farm, right? And she called me in and I talked to her, I asked if she wanted things, so her son came as well, and she had a share she wanted me to move, or she wanted to get rid of. She was giving it to someone else in the church, and I said, well, Mary lives near me, I can take it for you. So I grabbed this chair, dropped it off at Mary's house, and oh, were you at Trudy's? Yes. And she said, okay, she finally decided to sell it, but yeah, it's past time. But she said, was your card still on her fridge, right? Like, And it was like a note, and Mary, this other lady at church had said, yeah. Trudy said, like, if I sell my house, Gee's going to do it, okay. But it's on the fridge with a note for the family, so probably not in her will.
Close enough.
I've
Yeah.
got 5 more minutes. I have another class to teach
yeah.
after you guys. I'm sorry, but so. Do you guys have questions for me before I step out? Guy's gonna wrap it up, but if there's anything specific. No,
Not yet,
okay.
I'll send you an email.
Yeah, you guys can text me, email me. I'll leave my stuff to look at. But let's keep going. Do you wanna say anything?
Yeah, quite, sorry, one question.
Yeah.
So I have a client coming in from Nigeria, he just needs a room
Okay,
for a year. He's a professor, but he's just looking for somewhere. There, so if anyone has something.
that,
A room for rent.
that in his head.
yeah, are you on the Keller Williams private group chat?
I'm just putting stuff together, so.
Dave can
Yeah.
invite you to that,
It's just,
because. Then it's a WhatsApp chat for the whole brokerage,
Okay.
so just like, hey, I got someone new,
thanks, Dave.
yeah.
I know from this Dave, jeez, Louise.
It's
Uh,
helpful, it's super helpful.
It is, yeah, if you've got something.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that might be helpful.
I'll talk to Dave.
So this is just those, like, going deeper into those,
Those are some old stats, I think.
for sure, yeah.
We talked about that.
Yep. This is more self-reflection, which may help you determine your farm. So knowing yourself will help you know who you can relate to. Whether it's the area, the demographic, nationality, whatever it might be.
They say you attract people that are like you, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of helping you determine.
Yeah. And it's easier for them to feel comfortable with some sort of relatability.
Yes, always be sincere. People know when you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't wanna keep you, I
I
don't
got
want you to
3
be late,
minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, so establishing your reputation first, reputation versus relationships. Andrea, you mentioned neighbors, right? And I'm not like, not talking to you and you're doing anything wrong. The question might be, and often is. Well, what was my reputation with these people? And I've driven past for sale signs in my neighborhood, what was my reputation with those people? They clearly didn't see me as the realtor of choice. They might have had a long-standing relationship with someone else already, fair enough. So if you have relationships already, we talked about your old neighborhood, right? Now you're cultivating a different reputation, and that comes with, I'll use a networking term, VCP, visibility, credibility, and then that will lead to profitability. So how visible am I, right? Am I door knocking? Am I creating professional materials that I can share with them? Am I providing value? So you're visible, you're regularly there in person or in a flyer or something. You get that, and then you're building credibility with your consistency, with the material you share, the information you share, and then you potentially have that reputation that will lead to profitability.
And when you're new, the credibility part can be challenging, but that's where you use the brokerage numbers to beef up who you are. When I started, Keller Williams was new. Guy and I were part of the first 50 people here.
Mhm.
And so in 2014, if you knocked on a door, they're like, Keller who?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, some people are like, oh, are you part of Peggy's team? Because Peggy yeah, I got a lot of that. I'm like, no, I'm my own team.
Yeah.
Then I got the, oh, are you related to Mike Holmes? No, I'm not. But you can use the stats of, we are the largest brokerage in the world. We have this many agents, like, use those numbers. You have a team of, how many of us are here now, Dave?
120.
You are a part of a team of 120 agents in Barrie who are gonna work hard to get your house sold, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. So use those numbers, know them when you go out, so that you have the confidence to be like, I deserve to be standing at this person's door asking for their
Yeah.
business.
Prospecting in your fund.
All right.
So
There you go.
I do, sorry, guys, I teach a trauma healing course on Thursday, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it after. I'm just kidding.
That's nothing to.
Can you join me in thanking Jen for just being so organized? Thanks, Jen.
You have a minute too.
Did you, I'm sorry, I don't know if you noticed, I made you drink out of a team guideline.
I'm gonna leave my stuff here, these are things I
Thank you.
door knock with, it's a little dated because I just brought old stuff. And if you have questions, please see, message me, I can answer anything.
Thanks, Jen.
All right. I'm gonna see if I can turn this a little bit. You can all see it quite well.
Thank you.
Just look a little, okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna hide back here for now. I have to share the space with Jen. Okay, so working in your farm, prospecting in your farm, relationship farming, prospect-based, marketing enhanced. I used that terminology earlier. I'll share a story. So in the Ardagh area, I was part of a publication, which was marketing, it's branding. When I say expensive, it's embarrassing how much I decided to pay on a monthly basis to have my name and branding in this publication. So guess how many calls I got? Guess. Gold star. Yeah, gold star. I'm not sharing, I'm embarrassed.
Fighting the trauma therapy.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. And so prospecting based, like, and I've so not one lead, zero. But in that same area, I hosted an open house for Suzanne Picard and door knocked a strip of townhouses near this like $1.3 million listing. And I have it's like an hour before the open house, just promoting the open house. And oh, by the way, are you thinking of selling? Do you have any real estate questions? Like 5 people added to the database, just 1 hour, 5 people, right? And that consistency, that's the prospecting, door knock. It's easy, right? And I'm somewhat non-confrontational. I'm quite non-confrontational. I'm not going to hurt anybody. But my personality is just, if someone's just standoffish, like I can empathize with if they come at the door with the house coat, like I know I'm not going to be at all intense. Like they're just waking up and I've probably interrupted breakfast or something. Yeah, I could have a conversation with pretty much anyone unless they're like a jerk. Then I'm just like, I don't even want to talk to them. Like, okay, if they're standoffish, you could leave. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Prospecting based, marketing enhanced. So all of what this stuff is, that's more marketing, right? Anything that you're paying for, Google ads, Facebook ads, anything that's going to them and asking them to call you, that's marketing. Prospecting is I'm coming to you, like interrupting your day and starting a conversation, asking for your info and an opportunity to follow up. And it really should start here. And then this comes when you have the funds. Okay. Exercise. That doesn't mean like go door knocking and get your steps in. It means let's work on this. So if you want to take a picture, we maybe won't go through the math too much right now. But you should have a student manual as well, right? Pretty sure.
It should be in the meeting, but.
Yeah, and the meeting notes that should be there. So I'm not, yeah, course page 40 should be in there. Okay, so let's just say there are 100 homes in your farm. Hey, I want to door knock. Divided by the number of weeks I will door knock on doors. So if there's only 100 homes, honestly, you could do that in an hour. Okay, times 3 minutes. Because you're roughly 3 minutes per door. Arguably, that's if a good chunk of them answer. But not everybody answers the door anymore. A lot of ring cameras. What do you want? Like, hey, no, we're not interested. Okay, fine. Even the number of minutes.
Still,
Pardon?
if it is a ring situation and they say, oh no, I'm not interested or whatever, do you still leave your information or you don't?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, no problem. I just left something in the door for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. I'll just leave it here. Yeah. Call me if you have any questions.
Yeah.
I'm just inviting everyone to the open house or Just want to make sure you saw the new listing we had down the street. It's all about that consistency, because you'll be here again in 6 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it happens. I think 6 weeks is a good time. So let's say it's 300, and I'm going to, door knock for 200, I've done door knock for 4 weeks. So we've got 50 times 3 minutes, right, 150 minutes. I will devote every other week, it says. Right, so we'll go through that.
So, no,
Yeah,
like you said, I guess that's really more of an average, like Elsie and I go to Toronto this week and. It was around one of our listings down in South Bend there, and it was just over 40 doors, and it took me like a little over an hour.
okay,
I think I probably talked about.
You're talking a lot.
maybe,
Isn't that the idea?
depending.
So, yeah, I mean, like, the interaction that we had were relatively brief, and the homes were not small, not super big, but
Yep.
I don't know what the point of my question is like, is it reasonable? Maybe like the amount of time to spend each week, should it be an hour, should it be 2 hours, or like how many, like per day, or?
So, yeah, there's, good question. So average is, I mean, you're depending on whether you're deciding to walk across lawns or not. I do, so long as there's no hedges, even in the winter, I don't care. No one has ever said, "What are you doing on my lawn?" If they did, it pissed them off. Okay, I'm not getting that one. And that's a disgruntled person anyway. But depending if it's like, oh my gosh, this is a manicured lawn and they've just seeded it, I'm gonna walk down the driveway. So if you're doing this, you're gonna walk 3 times as far as me walking across a lawn. So it depends on how you door knock. So that's one thing. So what I would say is test it out and see how many doors, like go out a few times, figure out your numbers for how many doors or how long it takes you to do 50 doors or how long it takes to do 100. And if it's 3 minutes per door, which is probably reasonable, then maybe it takes you 150 minutes for 50 doors, which is just over 2.5 hours, right? I walk quick, I kind of jog between houses sometimes. Like I went with Dan Kilcullen, no, someone else who lives in New Brunswick now, but he was like, holy cow, what the hell? Well, I'm just like, I'm getting these doors done. I'm not out here because I'm in, like, this isn't just fun for me, it's work,
Yeah,
right? I want to get as many doors as possible. So I'm on a mission when I'm through the doors. I'm much less organized than Jen. I'm just like, let's just talk. I'll have a conversation when I have a conversation. And it might take 5 minutes, it might be 10 minutes. But I'll have more of them because I'll have more doors. So you got to figure out your numbers and then have the mindset, the purpose is number of doors knocked, and then number of conversations, and then information collected. So database adds, potentially appointment set, right? That your number one purpose is appointment set. You can't do that, get them in your database. If you can't do that, like just talk to people and number of doors. So the more you do it, the more numbers you'll have if you're tracking it to be able to determine things like this. So I think they're using 3 minutes per door as an average that you can use.
yeah,
That makes sense.
totally, yeah, I think I was either overthinking it or just thinking about it how I'm here to folks in the neighborhood, like I didn't want to seem like I was hustling along and running around the streets all like crazy or anything, but.
Most people aren't, I mean, if you go to my neighborhood, it's a lot of older people, they might be sitting in the front living room looking outside.
Yeah,
Most people are not doing that.
I had one open the door anticipating me showing it.
She was waiting for you,
I was
yeah.
crossing the street, I just.
So funny.
Like, it's freaky.
Yeah, that's fine. It's like at an open house, if you open the door and you see them coming up, like,
I did that, I wanted just some fresh air, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
That's helpful.
yeah.
So I never thought about it. For me, like, the lawn crossing thing, I don't take small steps out of it, I'm relatively tall.
Right,
But it's just out of my own, I guess, ethics or morals or whatever, I can't walk across somebody else's lawn, no matter how shitty it is. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like me, I have to go around, like, I did some townhouses not too far from here back in August, and even though there's like.
a strip.
Strip, down and then, down and up, and I don't know, that's just.
I've heard that from other people who door knock and that's just like, don't do that to people's lawns. I think it might be like let's say I'm over Crimson Ridge or like a really Royal Park Boulevard or something. People are spending money to have other people care for their lawns and, okay, maybe, right? I don't know.
That's just me, that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And again, so most of the time they're not there anyway.
Yeah,
They're not gonna see you go across. And that's just my personal, like, 'cause I don't care if someone, I know the mail carrier at my house is walking across the lawn. So I don't care. Like, they don't care. Anyway,
think that goes with experience. I
yeah,
think the more you do something, as time goes on, a lot of perspectives will change because you'll be able to put things
Yeah,
together and
yeah.
same. Because I used to do a lot of events for builders.
right.
You know, over the course of years, like a lot of things changed. So I remember when I first started, when I hosted an event for a new project, I didn't know how to like talk to like 10 people at the same time. So by then it was a skill that I had to learn over the course of time because you're hosting an event on a Saturday, you have a stand at this time, then all of a sudden 12 people, 15 people just walk in. Right. So now you're pretty much the only agent that's hosting that event.
Yeah.
You have to be able to find time to talk to all these people.
Hmm.
After a while, like I asked my team at times, like, I don't know, I'm gonna teach you, but it's a skill you have to learn. So again, in the beginning was kind of after a while, like
Yeah.
you're able to I'm able to okay, talk to this person for a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds, move to the next one.
Yeah.
And people respect that they realize, okay, this guy's getting time and blah blah blah. And then you're keeping them busy while you talk to them. So I think
Yeah,
that's something
yeah.
that with the course of time, with experience, you might end up walking in the grass.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I
I
don't
might
know.
get it.
But honestly, like, yeah, you've got long legs. You can walk maybe a little quicker than I can, perhaps.
That's the,
Yeah. Come from contribution and Jen shared some materials, here's some stats in the neighborhood, here's conversion stuff, like something of value. Here's a winterizing your home checklist, a fall cleanup checklist, home maintenance, something like that. You're meeting people face to face if you have that opportunity. It's face to face is always the highest value. It's more personal and you'll make a better connection. If you are coming from contribution and you are a trustworthy person, and you are credible and confident and knowledgeable, that gets expressed so much easier in person than over the phone, than through a mailer, right? So yeah, just helping out the neighborhood, making sure people are up to date with it, with whatever, and I'm just sharing this, and hopefully you find it helpful, but really let them know you're there to help. And if they have questions, like, be helpful. Working your farm. So I'm talking about that. So creating a dictionary. No, I read that wrong. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. A directory. Right, that's what Jen was talking about, right? You're walking through your neighborhood and she already knows who's answered the door before, whose information she has. So when she answers the door, she can say, hey, Mike, right? Organize a neighborhood yard sale. So that's easy to do if you live in the neighborhood for sure. Hey guys, I'm having a yard sale. You can see all the crap my kids don't want anymore. Would you want to do one on the same day, right? I have open house signs. We can put garage sale signs in there. I'll hand those out, right? So that's a value thing, the garage sale things. Hey, you know what? We're gonna have a bin in our driveway for this week. And if you've got something that's non-hazardous material, feel free to come dump it in the bin so you don't have to go to the dump, right? It might be something like that. You could start a website or a Facebook page that is specific to your farm. Maybe it's the hunting one I mentioned, right? So it's whatever. Something, create a neighborhood email or Facebook group, right? Or a blog. You guys, I don't know, who reads blogs anymore? So working your farm, continuing. So be where your customers are. Again, I got a dog just for this purpose. Just kidding. I got a dog because I wasn't thinking ahead. Now though, I've walked my dog in the neighborhood, met other people who also have dogs that walk their dog in the neighborhood, right? And some of the people that we are closer to, I only really got to know because of the dog. They're a block away, right? So yes, they also go to the school, their kids are at the school, but other people who I never would have met also have dogs, or they love dogs and they love to stop and say hi to the dog. So,
Can you go back to wine on the slide?
no, sorry. Got it? Okay. Welcome. So again, repetition is key. And that's that, just, you can't just do it once. It's the same, again, always think about, if you're just curious, think about the actual farming process. Like even after they've harvested, what do they have to do, right? Like, oh, I gotta do this all over again. We're gonna do this all over again. There's weeding, there's all that stuff. Could join a club, whether it's a running club, Mike, or start a running club, or dad's club, or like whatever, a ski,
Yeah.
like a group of people who want to do the same kind of things.
Or join one and just.
Or join one, yeah, take over. I want to say, chances are, like, there's already a realtor in that club. I'm just kidding. Like it is okay for sure, because there's gonna be a realtor everywhere. But how are you showing up? Are you coming from contribution? And you'll have people in those clubs that are totally different, if there is another realtor, than that other realtor. And they'll connect with you better than that other person. So be prepared, learn your scripts. There are likely scripts in the student manual, so page 47. Know your stats, right? So what has happened in this neighborhood, wherever you're farming. If you're focusing on, the senior demographic and that's your farm niche, know about others, people who provide services to that demographic, right? So have services prepared that you can share with them. And don't forget to ask for referrals. So if this is an area you're constantly giving, there's a philosophy in that networking group that I'm part of. It's called Givers Gain. It's a law of reciprocity. You're providing value, providing value, providing value. So Givers Gain is one. And then EAR, EAR. Yeah, you earn the right to then ask for a referral, and then you can receive a referral, right? So you're constantly providing value. And then, after a little while, like, hey, by the way, like, I would love to be of service to more people in the neighborhood. If you know someone who would appreciate this kind of real estate update on a regular basis, I'd love to connect with them. So if real estate comes up in conversation, would you feel comfortable introducing me? Something along those lines. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Like the boat cruise to Arizona.
I missed the invite, but okay,
Yeah.
go on.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
And out of that, I did three deals out of that. And
Right.
these were pre-construction deals, right? Each deal was like almost 30,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
Boat cruise cost me like 1,800.
How many people can go on the cruise?
It's a huge cruise, so we're mixed with other people.
Okay. Right, you brought your group. 20 people, right?
From that, and then, yeah.
And it was in Perry Sound?
Very sound, so it's the cruise that goes
Around there.
3,000.
Right,
Yeah, how's, yeah.
that's awesome.
It's pretty good.
That's cool. Yeah. So you just gave me an idea. Think of partnerships. Remember, we talked about budget and partnerships. We haven't talked about partnerships, but Tangle Creek Golf Course, I don't know if they still do it, but at one time they hosted what they called the biggest little Christmas party. So they have their whole space available to a bunch of small groups. So if you're a team of 5 or a team of 4 or an individual who wants to invite some clients and treat them to something nice, you might get a table of 8 and that table might cost $100 per person. But if you were to do that in the whole space, it'd be really expensive, but everyone kind of shares the cost. So you could do something like that, or a boat cruise, and organize it with other people in the office, or other service providers. So in my networking group, we have a mortgage broker, a real estate lawyer, a home inspector, and other professionals that serve my clients. So, hey, we're going to do a boat cruise. you invite 5 clients that I don't know. I'll invite 5 clients that you don't know. And hopefully we can all meet some clients that we don't know. But we've given them something really spectacular. And the bonus is if the people that we're inviting that don't know us and don't know each other, they make some new friends. So anyway, create a mini farm with a call to action. This is just something you can send, like this is just an idea. Find out what homes in your neighborhood are selling for. This feel like it's tired, like overdone. Just listed, just sold. This is nothing really spectacular. But if this is included with your branding and you mix this in 20% of the time, where 80% of the time you're providing value and now you're asking for something, maybe you'll get more out of that, right? So it can't be this all the time. It has to be value most of the time. Thank you. Okay. Don't worry about the Kelly app. Does it still exist? I don't think so, no. Building trust and recognition. So we talked about just generally prospecting, marketing yourself, your services, getting yourself familiar in the sphere and then in the farm, wherever that happens to be. Then if you have a listing, okay, market it aggressively. If the office has a listing within your farm, ask that agent to market it aggressively. So that's door knocking, cold calling, mailers, just listed. Maybe you do, and especially in, say, a more affluent area or an area where like dinner parties might be kind of fun, is do a neighborhood only or a neighbors only open house. Maybe the open house is from 1 till 3, you invite them from 12 till 1, or you do a Thursday night wine and cheese with just the neighbors, especially if it's a house that's worthy of hosting something like that, right? So you then appear to the farm as someone who will freely nail it if you get their listing. Okay, so you show them you're going to go the extra mile. Concentrate your open houses. Host seminars and classes. Maybe do a tax seminar, right? So think of what happens in our life. Okay, we have to file taxes in April. So does everyone else. Well, we don't, but so does everyone else. Most people do. So maybe, I think Jen did this once, is, hey, we've got Shred North coming with their big shred truck. It's going to be at this plaza. The restaurant in this plaza is going to be having a little snack for everyone who shows up. And if you've got stuff, for instance, I just took 3 Bankers boxes to UPS store. It cost me $101 for about 100 pounds of stuff, 140 pounds of stuff that was old files. But if someone was in the neighborhood and it was as planned, oh yeah, I'll get that stuff ready pre-taxes or just after tax season to go and shred. That's a nice service, right? So you can put together those things. But it could be pre-tax season, you're doing a tax seminar. Maybe you're doing an estate planning seminar. Other things that you can do. Jen has, she mentioned like a self-defense class. She did a self-defense class or had someone do a self-defense class for women once, right? Depends what your niche is. There's no shortage of ideas if you take the time to think about them. Get to know the renters and the landlords, contact for sale by owners and expired listings, right? So we talked about that already. Local flavor for your marketing. So maybe, and I just look at something like this. So, and I just mentioned the plaza, right? So I'm just thinking of, say, the Ardagh area, Mapleton, and just past the Holly Rec Center, we're going to call it.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
Marcellus, thank you. So Grillicious is there, right? Dave's the owner, and his partner. But let's say I was door knocking and I talked to Dave and said, hey, man, I'm going to be putting flyers in about 500 of the homes in the neighborhood. Would you be interested in putting a coupon or something like for those people who get the flyer? And also, so that could be value. could, I mean, it's around the corner. That helps him. It's marketing for him. He might not have to pay for delivery, but perhaps he shares the printing cost. Right? So we're talking about, so if you partner with other local businesses, so think of the businesses that are in your farm as well. Of course, like any business wants more business, I would think. So if you can partner with them in such a way that it's a win-win-win, if you think about that in everything, win-win-win, you're going to win, right? Because you're going to win. They'll win. And then the person you're marketing to, the home that's receiving this, is going to win. They're getting something of value. You're winning because you're going to perhaps pay a little less on the marketing, on the printing, and they'll win because they'll get more eyeballs on their business as well. And I was the local flavor. So that the flavor might be like local, like other local businesses and business partnerships and stuff like that. Question. Some services you could offer. I'm sorry, I just thought of another neighborhood or area, which would take a long time if you were door knocking, but Horseshoe, right? So Sugarbush, the flavor might be like, what is the lifestyle of people in that area? Dog walking, hiking, skiing, mountain biking, all that kind of stuff. Farmers markets and some services you could offer to establish yourself as the expert. Any ideas? I'm just drawing a blank for a second.
No, it's right now.
Could be real estate related, yeah.
This is an idea, I mean, it's communities too, so, because I haven't part of it, a lot of different communities. But what I'm thinking now is, so usually summertime is a lot of barbecue stuff. So another thing, one thing I'm thinking of doing is, getting an ice cream truck.
Okay.
There's gonna be a lot of kids, right? So I'm just trying to find a way to either maybe create like what's it called? You know that old thing, where some people, so before, so when a kid.
QR.
codes, yeah, so the kid comes where he carries, scan the QR code, enter the information, and the kid gets an ice cream, so, cause I mean, we've done it before for pre-construction.
Yeah.
One group did it and it really worked out, cause I mean, the kids are done for ice cream, the parents are having you're getting free ice cream, right? So.
Yeah, it's hard to say no to free
Yeah,
ice cream.
So.
Yeah.
With the barbecue for the community, I think everyone will for you. So I'm thinking towards that too, as a good idea, just to still gather and get people in the database, but also share ice cream and also be there.
Sorry, I'm just sending that to voicemail. Yeah. Yeah, that's so that builds relationship, that builds community. It gives you an opportunity to get their info so then you can communicate with them. I love it and stuff like that. And then as far as the services, so how do they find out that we're the experts? So that might give you an opportunity to communicate with them and offer a service. So this is trying to get us to think about what services we can offer to people for them to think of us as an expert. So let's say your niche is investment real estate, right? So the webinar might be a service where you bring in 2 or 3 different professionals. Maybe it's a paralegal, property manager, I don't know, construction, a renovator, someone who does second suite conversions, right? So you can educate with a seminar. That could be something. What is like the number one thing most realtors offer? Free home evaluation. Why not, right? Free home evaluation. I wouldn't necessarily discount that that's been overdone. I mean, Mark is still doing it. It's still on every billboard. So why not? It could be a first-time home buyer seminar, right? So seminars are helpful, offering a service like that.
What about something like, I mean, this would be more of an outside of, not necessarily directly related, but like, what if you offered something like bike maintenance tips to your local cycle club or something like that, like had a seminar on how to fix your bike, common things.
Okay, yeah.
For a particular area. Everything been posted, bringing the mechanics and like. have
Yeah.
them come and do it, and then just figuring out how to tie that back into names, numbers, that's. Other than saying, hey, after the summer, you're good.
Yeah. So that's providing a service. Say you're the sponsor, the organizer, and so that works really well for branding because that's your name
Yeah,
associated with this great thing that they're getting, this great piece of value. So yeah, how you tie it in and how you get their info or how they register, right? For that, and that's a QR code or however it is, you then get their information. It's great. But if you're there and say there's a tent and maybe there's food and whatever that come for this free event, I think it's great. Knowing your niche. So let's say it's in RDOT, there's probably a decent amount of people who like to go. I don't know what it is. More affluent areas tend to be more physically active as well, right? If you were in Midhurst, like lots of people go skiing and biking, whatever. Maybe not. I don't know.
well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's pretty active.
right. Yeah. So if you know the area, the region, and the general interests, like that's fairly specific. Say mountain bike.
Yeah.
It's like you need to know that they're physically active. That would be of value. But if that's going to a general interest group, not necessarily a geographic area,
Yeah.
right? It's online, great. Or you're marketing it online, but bringing it to a specific location, which is near where you live or a bike shop. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe the other things you add on, and maybe it's hosted by MEC or the one on Hart Drive. Bike Zone, not Bike Zone.
No.
Bikeland, yeah. Right. So maybe it's hosted at one of those, and you bring in some of the food trucks or other things that, yeah. Right. So again, and those partnerships are helpful too.
Question with the seminars, like how do you, you get in space? Or is it like online? Because I'm just trying to figure out how people come to you to be able to attend. Because some people, I don't know about a seminar. So maybe there's not
Yeah.
you can do that and really attract them. So I'm just trying to figure out how that's the best way.
I'd say the best way to market your seminars, or the best answer I can give you as far as marketing your seminars, would be read the book, 7 Levels of Communication. But how you invite people, I would personally say in person. I'm more comfortable in person than online. And I've been on Zoom for my marketing meetings during COVID and for a while after COVID. Even still, we do 3/4 of them on Zoom and some are in person. There's so much disconnect on Zoom. And personally, like I could be hosting the meeting on Zoom, and while other people are talking, I'm checking email. Like seriously. So if I do that, I know the level of attention that I'm getting from the other people is limited as well. So personally, I'm going to do it in person. I can shake their hand. I can eat with them, like offer them food, and there's just this connection. And when a Zoom's over, it's like it's done, it's over, goodbye. When the talk's over, like people are staying and they're talking and they're getting to know each other. So personally, I would do it in person. On the 7 levels of communication, let's say you have a database. So they gave an example of promoting something, but let's say it's an email invitation and you have their address as well, and they get a postcard invitation, and then they get a text message invitation, and then they get a phone call like, hey, I noticed you haven't registered yet. Did you get any of these, right? And then maybe if it's a regular geographic area, right, you maybe door knock. Hey, we're doing this great event. Did you get say it's the paper shredding thing. Did you get the invitation for the paper shredding? No, what are you talking about? Oh, well, I mean, I emailed it. No, you're not going to tell them you sent them 10 other levels of communication, but you'll say, oh, well, we're going to be at, this restaurant, the Plaza, on this day. And if you have any documents like Shred North or whatever, shred it, the truck's going to be there and you can shred it and it won't cost you anything. We're taking care of it. Oh, okay, cool. right? So.
So if hashtag 7 babies.
Yeah, that's one of the examples within the book. I don't, but yeah, that's
Listen to hear from 7 times, and yeah.
7 times, 7 different ways. That's not the whole premise of the book, but that's one concept.
That the most negative person would say no 7 times before they say yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then it might be more now because we're so inundated with other stuff. So yeah, services you can offer. Working toward higher goals. So remember we talked about starting this farm small, the niche small. So East End, older demographic generally, more families are coming in as people have either passed or decided to go into a home or a condo or whatever. There's also a community center that is a seniors community center. So I could be focusing on that area, which is way more than like 500 homes. And I could also be doing stuff with the senior center, and I could also like, if I wanted to niche specific into the seniors side of the East End. As you increase the farm, right? Say if you use a Snap ad mail, it's $1 per mailing. So if you do 200 homes, $200. If you do 500, right? And as you grow it, it gets more expensive. Hopefully, though, the results are also multiplying. Your increased prospecting. So we're not going to only send mailers, we also are going to prospect and door knock. And so if there's now 1,000 houses and you want to hit them every 6 weeks, you've got to figure out the math and how much you need to actually door knock, and maybe you have to start going across lots. And obviously the cost of marketing and all three, that all bigger distance. And so that might be where you then have you have a team, right? That's doing it, or another partner, the brokerage, like, hey, you want to go door knock with me, right? That's it, I think. Okay, nice.
You mentioned your kids are
No, they're not yet, but that was an idea.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just a very entrepreneurial mind. Really is not afraid to talk to anybody.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so
It probably would be the best idea for your company, that sort of stuff. Tag the catalog of. Do that.
you know what? Depending on how you do it, I think it's amazing. Personally, I love encouraging children to earn a commission. Dave Ramsey, anybody heard of Dave Ramsey? Yeah, there you go. Nice. So his daughter actually has it's on the Bible app. She has a course that you can listen to, but she talks about her experience as a kid from Dave Ramsey, who is a no debt guy with $600 million real estate portfolio, 0 debt. And he talks about money for families, and his book is called The Total Money Makeover. But she talks about earning a commission as a 5-year-old, right? Never got allowance. There were some obligations, chores. You don't get paid for chores, but if you want to earn commission, right, you have to provide a service. And so I was talking to another realtor in Ottawa about the mail strike, and he had all these mailers just ready to go out, and they're just sitting, like he's surrounded by them in his office. And I said, how old are your kids again? And he said, I think 11 and 12. But, so I said, well, it costs 10 cents to mail it through Canada Post if it's unaddressed. And if you still have mailbox delivery, your kid could probably put them in there. And if you pay them 5 cents, you're going to save money. And then the other question I said, are you incorporated? So you could actually put them on the books and they could start earning an actual income, and you are generating a write-off, and they could be working with you. And it's kind of fun, but you're teaching them, like, this is part of what I do for work. This is what generates business. And I would set up rewards too. So my first door knocking experience was as a scout, asking for pledges for trees, right? Donations for pledges for trees, like as a 12-year-old. And then I recently, last year, took my son and another friend, and I was mostly on the sidewalk because they were each going to a separate house. So if one of them needed help, I was there. explain things better, or help with the math or whatever someone was needing help with. But that kind of thing, that their reward was this paid for a lot of their camps and things like that. So, if you prepared the ad mail and if it was something that could tuck in a door, or if it's a handle, that a lot of doors now have handles, so you just like
Yeah.
put it in.
Yeah.
Like 9-year-old can figure that out, no problem. So I would just walk with them. They could do every other house. You were maybe knocking on doors and trying to talk to people, and she might do the next house and wait for you while you're hopefully talking to someone. And if you end up talking to someone, they just kind of wait. Again, if you're doing this at 9 a.m., they're probably at school. Diana Kokoska, who's since retired, but she's the founder of MAPS. She started MAPS coaching with Keller Williams, like so 35 years ago, whatever. As a single mom, she was door knocking and taking her kids in a wagon with her. They were younger at that time, but people, I think, appreciated that she was just after it. There were no excuses.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it depends on how you're going to get the kids involved, but I think there's a way you could do it.
Yeah, I remember doing something similar, like I guess my first sister.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
grew up on the beaches in Toronto, and we just did that. So for a while, we were walking around, selling apples that way, and then mailings like that, and he started his his architecture business. So
Okay.
earned money.
Stripes.
Yeah, just like the stuff envelopes.
Oh, yeah.
It was, yeah, there's different ways to generate results.
So I was thinking, not every street has mailboxes, right?
Yeah,
But the ones that,
that's true,
At-
yeah.
yeah, were the door hangers.
Yeah.
So if you do the door hangers, any 9-year-old can put those on, where, if I have a postcard like this and it's not on regular paper, it's a bit thicker, I can pop it in the door, so it
Yeah.
stays. But my kids have trouble with that. Right, it's a little trickier, and every weather stripping is different and every door is different, so they don't all work the same. Some I have trouble with, so you gotta get creative or just skip it sometimes.
Sure.
And so my thought was, I can pay the money to do this, and if I'm gonna do my neighborhood and my kids who are in the neighborhood and have friends in the neighborhood, I'm like, see someone, like, well, what are you doing? Oh, I'm helping dad. We were just promoting his real estate business for him. Oh my gosh, that's so cute, right? Like, or my dad hired me to help deliver these flyers, whatever. They'll probably just like, here you go, and run away, to be honest, if they don't know the person personally. But yeah, stuffing flyers is great. They could help cut depending on the attention span of, yeah, you call it a guillotine as well? Yeah, same. It's a paper cutter. I don't know. Is it a guillotine? Yeah, okay. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think incorporating the kids is fun if you find a way to do it that they also don't like end up fighting with you. It's good. Right? Because they won't have, like, if you get so far and they're like, I'm done, then you got to turn around and take them home. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I think of, but I
Sure.
appreciate that. That's awesome.
Anybody have any other questions about farming? No?
No,
Okay.
that's intimidating to invade a neighborhood, you know.
Yeah. Like, I'm not home all day, so I don't know how many people knock on my door. But there was a time, more during like 2021, 2022, where people were knocking on my door, but very few people knock on my door. Very few people. Or I get flyers from realtors, but it's almost never the same realtor. Right? It's almost never the same realtor. And if it is, it's like 6 months apart. So if you do it right, it's kind of a no-brainer. And the beauty about doing something right and doing it really well is you then have almost no competition, because myself included, nobody does it perfectly. Nobody does it really well.
Yeah.
Nobody really takes a system and does it consistently and really, really well. So if you put together, 50% of this and did it consistently, you can like knock the competition out of the park. Just like the Jays hopefully will on what, Friday? Tomorrow? There you go. Yeah, they'll have the dome closed for sure. It's supposed to be raining.
Allison's gonna be over by 8 o'clock.
I know. Yeah.
It's great, it's like a hard out for trick or treaters.
Yeah.
Like a trick or treater after 8 o'clock, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Let's get on.
Take it, go.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Usually just the high schoolers saying.
Mhm.
Okay, I should figure
Thank
it.
you.
Oh, my pleasure. I am happy to help. Yeah, you're welcome, guys. I know you're eating carrots there. It's kind of boring there, Mike, but there are cookies left over at the back too.
I'll stay home, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I got some more.
Yeah, I didn't make them, but look, whoever made the chocolate chip ones, they were yummy.
All right.
There.
Yeah, Joe.